We're live. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us here at Code It Live. I see some of my good friends are also streaming, but hey, this is going to be nice and casual. I'm your host, Sam Basu. Welcome to the dotNET Dev Show. It is Thursday, so it's dotNET Day. Today I don't have a guest. You're stuck with me. I'm going to try to get a few things going. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Like the whole Code It Live at the channel, we took August a little bit easy because, again, we are all living through a pandemic and we don't want to risk burnout. We've been streaming quite a bit. So August was a little easy, but hey, we are back now. And if you caught the intro, I think I had it on the dash. So I'm back to 2 shows a week. So the Thursday show is all things .NET, and it's live coding. The Friday is more of a chat show. It's relaxed. We get to spend time with the folks we work with, and internal and external folks. Folks we enjoy spending time with. Just get to know them a little better. So it's a chat show. All right, so let's start. There are a couple of things I thought I would do today. One is, hey, you can say from the shirt, I'm into .NET MAUI. So I haven't played with the latest bits in a while. We are up at preview 7, so I want to tinker a little bit. And I also want to share a little bit of my struggles because, again, as we live in the bleeding edge, there are things that are often out of sync, and then you have to get them back in sync. So it's been fun, and I actually wrote up a post and kind of tweaked my dev environment back and forth, trying to show you all of that stuff. And then I want to show you an update we pushed out with some Telerik UI for MAUI. And then I want to start writing an app that I've been told should be a MAUI app, and we should put it in the store. So we shall see. I think at this point we are at the cusp of maybe getting another update on the MAUI tooling side of things. We have had preview 7 for about a month now, I want to say. So it's getting time for like preview 8 or even like the RC bits that were promised in September. So we shall see. What happened to my music? Did it stop? No, it just went to a very slow track. There you go, that's a little better. Okay, so let's roll. We're looking at our desktop. Let's start with where I am at. So this is our blog. This is where I write, and I wrote this thing up. It took a little bit of time to write this because I had to kind of keep switching up the versions of the workloads and the runtimes that I was using, trying to recreate some of the issues that I've had. So if you are doing .NET MAUI, right? First of all, let's go to .NET MAUI. I'll do a regular search. You'll likely end up on the docs if you haven't played with this. This is the next generation cross-platform framework and solution that we are talking about. Evolution of Xamarin Forms, meant to target iOS, Android, macOS, and Windows. So we are now talking desktop in addition to mobile, which is real nice. So if you have never played with .NET MAUI, start here. They tell you all about it, and they tell you how this thing is functioning. You see the MAUI layer, and this is what used to be Xamarin Android and Xamarin iOS. They are just .NET now, and there's a BCL, and then we talk to the corresponding runtimes. So for Android and iOS, it is obviously Mono, which is what Xamarin did. Now it's kind of baked into .NET 6, and that's all coming in November. And then we are getting to macOS through Mac Catalyst, which is the Apple-approved way of going from like making iPad apps to run on the Mac desktop. And then for Windows, we are going in through WinRT runtime, which is essentially WinUI 3. Is what's getting us the native UI on Windows. So it's pretty sweet, but I will say, like, it's a big promise, right? So I talked to the team a lot, and some of the tooling, it takes time. It takes coordination because it's the mic has some echo. LSNet PT. Thank you for pointing out. Let me see if what I can do. I can maybe lower the gain a little bit. where was I? Okay, so the tooling. It's a lot of different teams working on this together. So you have to have the Visual Studio team. You have to have the .NET MAUI team. You have to have the Xaml experience team. And then all of these things need to come together for the dev experience. And that's where some of the challenges have been with preview, but they're getting close. It's crunch time for Microsoft and the engineers to kind of get this all tightened up and look for November ship with .NET 6. So this is where you are. If you want to get installed, the bits installed on Windows, it's actually real easy now. It's just VS 2022. The preview 3 is where you want to be with .NET MAUI preview 6 onwards. So you need to get these workloads, which are also workloads you can get from the CLI tool if you are just wanting to do it by hand. So it's pretty simple. If you want to do the Blazor hybrid stuff, then you get the ASP.NET workload as well, and that's it. If you're on Mac like I am, I also have Windows actually. I'll show you the Windows part because I was struggling there as well. So you have MAUI check, which gets you all the tools, does a system health check, and installs the bits, which is nice. So yeah, go through that, and then building our first app. Again, you can go through VS 2022. You get these two little nice project templates, which you also get through CLI, but you get some more templates if you really wanted to, and then you can fire this up on Android and iOS, and off we go. If you are on a Mac, so VS for Mac is going through like a big UI change, so they are not quite there yet. VS Code kind of works with some debugging. There's like a I'll show you. There's like a extension you can get that helps, and then but for the most part it's CLI, and it's not bad if you just know what you're doing. But there are some things that have come in that might be roadblocks. Rocket DevRel. Hold on. I think I know who that is. Interesting. It's interesting Thursday that my featured chats are not quite picking up. So sorry, I can't highlight your messages yet. Love the shirt. Hey, let's see. Can I? Oh, there you go. Now finally my. Can I? There you go. Yeah, I can highlight. Yes. So if you want this is from Gerald Versluis, and there's a bonfire, so you can go get it yourself. This one. So yeah, I mean, everyone's picking up the dark because it looks nice, but hey, go give the light ones some love as well. And they got men's, women's, all sizes. So yeah, go for it. And Xamarin, which is actually now the .NET toolkit as well. So yeah, go get that stuff, the merch if you want. Okay, hey Dan, good to see you. Actually, I haven't seen you in a while. Rocket Devil is saying the 22nd is our kickoff stream. Hey, yes, I heard about that. So these are my good friends over at Rocket, and they have an absolute kick-ass DevRel team. A lot of troublemakers. So yeah, I would be tuning in to see and meet your team, which I know most of your team, but you're all amazing. Yeah, thanks. And Dan is saying, you see, Scott Hunter was asking where he's using micro. Oh, really? Scott Hunter doesn't have a MAUI shirt? That's a shame. Somebody should get him something. All right. So where are we? Well, we are at some of the pain, right? So when you do some of this, if it's a happy pass, like if you're just getting into MAUI, like this is all easy and you will have no trouble getting all the stuff installed. If you are like me or Dan, who's been tinkering with stuff for a while, then you have had a lot of previews, and sometimes those workloads get a little messy, right? So I wrote this up yesterday because it was painful, and I was talking to some folks at Microsoft. They're like, yeah, we are seeing other folks have the same issues. So look this up. It's just called Apples in MAUI. But these are like some of the top 10 things that I found were kind of blockers for me. Dan is saying sometimes. Yeah, well, that's what we get for living on the bleeding edge. First thing is, if you can't run Maui check, you have to have it. Let me bump up the fonts a little bit. You have to have it on your path. Okay, so this is just like any other .NET dev tool. You have to have it on the .NET tools. So add that to your path, and then up and running you go. You will see that mine actually has a little bit more, like I have like mono things, and sometimes like the $home might not be explicitly set, so set it to your Mac home directory. Then Xcode. This is fun because we are also relying on iOS 15 and macOS Monterey coming along for the ride, so that comes with Xcode 13 and the betas. Right now the beta 5 is the latest one, so you want to get that. But if you're on Preview 7, I found that you could also work with beta 4. In fact, that's where it started out working, but now they also support beta 5. This is kind of under the covers, but you can see, right? So if you run Maui check and you request some of the preview bits, you will get RC. It's getting really close, and that definitely works with Xcode beta 5. And some of you may know this. There is a site called Xcode Releases that has a nice listing of all the Xcode releases and the betas with direct download links and release notes. So go get what you need. It's a big download, I will tell you that. I tried doing it on stream one day. Well, the download was fine. It was like 8-9 gigs, but then it takes a lot of time to unpack that. It's a zip file, right? So once you do, it resides side by side, and then you have to tell Maui check as well as the build system to go use the new Xcode. So you do an Xcode select and point it to the beta app, and that's it. This might be new, because I struggled with this one a little bit at the NetPaint, David Ortno and some of the folks. These are some of the templates that you can get from CLI if you look for the latest bits. So at the very latest, if you do Maui check, you should have .NET MAUI app and .NET MAUI Blazor app. You might not see all of the other ones, but these first two you should definitely have, and I didn't, right? I ran Maui check and I ran it updated. I didn't have it, right? So what's the deal? So you can still go and grab the NuGet packages manually and just kind of do a force install, but I found that if you did that, sometimes it was still using Preview 6, and the bits and the workloads got confused. So if you can update Maui check, and this is what you might want to do, Maui check and -main or preview, that gets you kind of the latest bits that are still maybe in the works. Then I ran into things with my runtimes getting a little messed up. So once again, this is what you should see if you have the Maui runtime. So you can see Preview 1 kind of goes all the way back to February, I think, when they started having it, all the way till Preview 7, which is the present supported one. You can actually start getting RC bits as well, but you should have these things. If it does get messed up, go get it yourself. Like if Maui check for some reason fails on you, there's always, what's the site called, dotNET, right? So start there, be it Windows, be it on Mac. You can go to download and then all .NET downloads, and that's where .NET 6 Preview 7 is. So go get the bits, because mine was messed up for a bit. Then I also had issues with my workloads, which is something they have fixed now. But what happens is with .NET MAUI, it depends on some of these workloads to do its thing on each platform, like iOS or Mac Catalyst. Like MAUI is the overall thing. You need to have those workloads, and MAUI check will do a check to make sure things are good. But what I found out was it wasn't doing a cleanup job very well. So if I go out here, where is that? Reddit, that's John Dick, and in here they have a little thing called clean old .NET 6 preview script, which is actually a PS1 script, which is PowerShell. So I was like, okay, I need to run this, but how do I run this? Because I can't run PowerShell on a Mac. So I looked around, and it turns out it's actually fairly easy. I just never had done it. So you have to have a homebrew. You can just grab PowerShell. It's just a thing that now works on a Mac, and you can get a VS extension if you want. But then you can just run that PowerShell script, right? And then you can always like force it. So what this will do is, no matter what be your present workloads it's going to try to repair. And yes, LSNAKE PD, PowerShell core. Yes. I didn't know that. I'm dumb. Sorry. So that's what you can do to run PowerShell on a Mac. So do this force. That's going to force it to fix all the workloads and kind of write over any existing ones you have. This thing is, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, but the WinUI solution is still a separate. It's not a solution. It's still a folder with its own CS proj, and you need that to do the app package for Windows, right? And if you run .NET Build on like the overall project, it's going to tell you that, hey, I can't really run Windows, and I can show you this. So hold on. So it since WinUI is now just kind of right there. So hold on, let's see. If I go over to where my projects live, that's CLI. Let's go to Maui Hello. That's where I have my stuff. So you see how the WinUI project is right here. If I let me grab this .NET Build for iOS, right? If I went and ran it here, let's open up a terminal. Just make it a little bigger for you folks to follow along. So if I do this, it might tell me, yeah, so see, Windows is required to build Windows, like duh, but you can't do that. You have to go one level down into the Maui project. If I go in here, you see the Maui Hello thing. So now if we go into Maui Hello and we run it again, this should be better because now it's using the CS proj that's for the Maui project, and now it fires it up. It's building the assemblies and firing it up on the iPad Pro 12.9. That's the default simulator, which I also noted that you don't have to run it on there, which, I mean, we have known this for a while. So let me close this, go back here. So right here. So if you need to run this on something like an iPhone simulator, there's a thing called Sim Select or Sim Control. It's sitting right there in your Xcode beta or regular Xcode app. That's going to give you a list of the simulators that you have. So you'll have simulators for iPhone, different versions, and iPads, and what's a small Apple device called? The music player thing, the one that's not a phone, I forget. The one that you get your kids started on. You can choose, and each device has a unique ID, and then you can hand over that ID to .NET Build, so it'll know how to publish to that. LSNAKE PD is saying, is it possible to build remotely from Windows? Yes, Dan, iPod is what I had in mind. Thank you. Is it possible to build remotely from Windows? So you mean like build for iOS from Windows? Yeah, but you do need a Mac. So if you're running this on Windows, which I can actually pull up my Windows because I was having issues, and you can see, or maybe you'll have ideas on where I'm missing out. So on Windows, you can run the WinUI project out of the box, not a problem, but for you to, and Android as well, but for you to run things on iOS like iPhone or iPod, you do need Xcode somewhere, right? So could be your host machine if you're running it in a VM like I am, could be a Mac somewhere on your network, could be Mac somewhere in the cloud, but you do need Xcode. So yeah, LSNAKE PD build on macOS from Windows, yes. And actually, I mean, I have a real open agenda today, so let's digress and let's show you. So here's my Windows. This is not my like I have a separate Windows machine which is sitting under my desk, but this is a VM. Dan is saying in Visual Studio Tooling is still Dan is being Dan. It's the whole reason why I haven't been releasing updates to Prison Maui. It's extremely difficult. Yes, yeah, I hear you. Well, it's worth highlighting maybe. So it's coming. It's a lot of moving pieces. Okay, so LSNAKE PT, and maybe I don't have everything right here. So you do need VS 2022, right? So okay, I want to say like you can do some things in VS 2019, but a lot of things just like fall apart. So don't waste your time. VS 2022 lives perfectly happily side by side. Thank you for the follow. So get that preview. It's going to be a big download, and you need the workloads, yes, but you need 2022. So let me pull up just a Hello World solution. Same exact app that you saw on Windows, and maybe I don't have all the pieces either. Okay, thanks, it didn't change Xcode. Yeah, so here's the thing, while my Visual Studio is coming up. It's an Apple restriction that nobody can get us around. So Apple wants, when you're building for iOS, you are building an app package that Apple wants to be built from Xcode that is licensed to the same developer who has the store account, and nobody can get you around that. And definitely Microsoft doesn't want to, because it's a big legal target. So you do need Xcode, yes. So it hasn't changed from Xamarin Forms, and it will not change because Xcode is needed to do the build. Okay, so on Windows, you get that same app, and this is the single project thing. And maybe some things are not quite in place, because I can run the WinUI app, but essentially, so Snake, to your point, here's what you need to do is, let me see, how do I, where is my connection to my Mac? Because they took away that icon. Where is that? Can I do a debug? Where is, no, not my testing. Connect to database. Where is my connect to Mac? Hold on. I'm digressing here, but that's all right. Not there. Build. Where is it? iOS. Oh, there you go. So it's not hidden under iOS. Makes sense. So get it to Mac. So that's what you need. On this one, this will be fine because. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Ooh. All right. So what it's trying to do is go to 10 to 11. So that is my host, right? So I need to connect to that, and it goes to SSH or like shush, as we say, and then it can connect to the Xcode, do the build for you. But from my Windows machine, I'm still having issues deploying to iOS, but you should not. Like my setup is messed up. If you do it clean on a VS 2022, you should not have. See, now it's connecting just fine. Because the reason is like I don't see my iOS simulators here, and that's what's messed up for me. So I need to go in and see why I don't, because you should be seeing iOS and Android right there. But the WinUI project, I can run that. Okay. All right. So sorry, I'm still talking about my issues here. So this one was a big one for me because I could not figure this out for the life of me. Let's check if the stream quality is good. Yeah, we're still good. So there are a couple of things happening. Okay, so there is Xcode and there is Visual Studio, both of which have the settings where you can point it to your Apple ID, and essentially you don't need to have a paid store account. It's supposed to get a wildcard identifier for your apps, so you can deploy them. But for me, between VS 2022 and Xcode beta, it got lost. Like it just did not pick up my default profile, which is the provisioning profile. So I could not deploy until I actually went to the Apple Dev Store account, manually downloaded the profile, and then I'm using this identifier. So you'll notice that in my CS project, I have to, for every MAUI app, I have to come in and I have to change this thing, because I think it just starts out saying like company name something, so I have to change it to Sam before I can deploy to my iOS simulators or my Apple devices. It's just something that maybe I got into, I couldn't figure out a way. Maybe it's just beta software that it doesn't know how to pick up the default provisioning profile because it stopped working for me. And if you need to debug on a Mac, I haven't done a whole lot with this, but you know, the comment extension, the comment package is essentially for MVU pattern on .NET MAUI, and with it comes a little VS Code extension, which is called Commit for .NET Mobile. It's linked here if you want to go look. And I think this was Vijay Anand. He wrote up a nice post on how you can enable debugging on VS Code. So you don't have to leave VS Code, like it's all CLI, but you can, once it knows which simulator you want to deploy to, you can stay in VS Code and debug and just deploy all from within VS Code itself. So that's my pitch. That was my getting into VS or .NET MAUI Preview 7 and going through some of these things. And of course, if you're looking for polished UI, hey, we're here. That's the Telerik thing. UI bits for MAUI, which I want to use that grid in one of my apps. So again, if you're struggling on a Mac, see if you have encountered some of the same issues that I have. Dan is saying the VS Code extension doesn't actually care whether you're building. Exactly. So that's the nice part. So you could, you don't have to use MVU, right? So start with .NET MAUI and then use the extension. Then it just knows how to debug and also where to push your builds to in terms of your simulator. So yeah, that's definitely nice. Okay, so that was my my 2 cents. Now, one thing we did update in the last few weeks is, and I'm just showing this because I want to use it, is for Maui. That's UI for Maui, and we have the grid. This is this one here. It looks pretty simple here, but it's all the features that you expect in a Maui grid, right? It's our Xamarin grid, kind of really cleaned up, polished up. We are in the process of making it a handler, but you have to use compatibility for now. So the sorting, filtering, grouping, selection modes. This one's a big one, the UI virtualization. That's nice. So you can bind it to 100,000 records and it'll still scroll nicely. And we got the charts and other things. So if you want, this is a completely free kind of experimental thing, so you can go and hit the try now button. What it does is it will install, and this works on Windows as well as on a Mac. So it goes wherever you want to. It's, for me, it's in my documents. There is progress. This is all my bits right here. So for Maui, you can see like we have had 4 previews. This 8.17 one from August is the latest one. So you get all the binaries. You get the NuGet package local, so you don't have to go and pull down anything else. License agreements if you are a lawyer, and then the demo app. But this one actually has some of our stuff built in, so you can actually see the UI working. So let me pull that up because I do want to change, tinker with the grid a little bit, see how we are rendering it. And hold on, I can never remember the target moniker like -f thing, so I'm always looking it up to see what do I need to do to deploy. Build this one here. Run and build trun. Alright, so where are we? We are here. We can go into the Maui solution or Maui part of the solution, fire that up, and that should get us the default iOS simulator. It's coming up. All right, there we are. So that's the demo app. This is super basic. Dan is here, but this one actually doesn't have any MVVM. It's just literally one page, with all of the UI just thrown in, just to kind of show you. But that's the grid, right? And we have that segmented control. And that's just a placeholder. You can put whatever you want in it. We have a checkbox, and we have like a list view. We have borders, we have buttons, we have entry fields. So things are starting to light up a little bit here. So let's stop this, and I want to look at the code and see how we did the grid, because then maybe I can use it. I keep getting this Apple account error. which I have no idea why. It's just an Xcode error. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be getting in my way, so I'm going to hit OK and get out. Okay. Yeah, I know Visual Studio Code. You can't do that. No need to build. There you go. Okay, so on this one here, notice that how I have already changed the application ID to Sam star, because that's my wildcard. Without that, I just cannot deploy. That's my package reference, Telerik UI for MAUI. And do you say where the package lives? Like, how does it know? Because isn't the use MAUI is true? Hold on, because the package lives right here. No, not that. This package here, that's the 871 nupkeg package, which, like, this one's saying like that's the official version number. How does it pick it up? Is it? I thought we had to point it to the package. Is it in the solution file somewhere? So this one's nice. This one's nicely cleaned up. It's just one config, use Telerik, and that's it. Dan is saying, I always find it funny when people freak out when I have a simple demo that doesn't actually use everything. No, it is. I hear it. I hear it, Dan. No, I know you're not freaking out, but it's just this one is just code behind. And to Dan's point, like, MVVM is a design pattern, and this is baked into Xamarin Forms. This is baked into .NET MAUI, and yes, things like Prism will definitely help you. But some of the older things of the past, where if you had like lots of like here, if I go into my code behind, like if you had way too many of these like event handlers in your code, .NET in the past used to have like memory leakage issues. Those things are pretty much done. So you're fine. Like if you're shipping apps by your own, and if you just want to roll with this, you're totally fine. The moment you start building up a real app, you're going to start noticing that this gets a little messy quickly, because your UI and your business logic is just like slammed together. So that's not good design. But hey, start here if you want. Okay, so I am completely not sure how it's picking up the MAUI package. Magic. I don't see any other pointers. I thought in the past we had like a pointer to say go like whack, go look in the same directory itself, but must be some magic that it just knows how to pick it up, because I don't see how. Anyway, so that's the app, and here's the XAML, which will look verbose because everything is just right in there, like I said. So we have a grid. Actually, the whole thing is a grid. Okay. So we are using the kind of dog food in the grid itself. We have borders, we have buttons, and let's see, that's the image avatar. Then we have a stack layout. Then we have a grid. This one's a right border. Where is the grid that shows the data? Work items, maybe? Yeah, that must be it. And then we have the segmented control. Yeah, this must be it. So it's showing that work items collection, which, do we even have a view model, or maybe not? Pop up, and button, generate content. Where is work items? We do have view models, okay. Work items is right there. That's what the grid is binding to. Work items right there. UI test, builds, timeout, that. So it has the ID, which it's not showing, then it has the title and assigned to. So when we look at XAML, is visible, everything is visible. Edit mode is in select cell. Is that what it's showing? Hold on, I closed it. I think that's what it's showing. So let me go back here, and do this one more time. Yeah, so, oh, this one is actually showing the IDs as well. So there is no like column binding to the data. It's just like a flat out binding to the whole thing. So it is showing the ID, title, and assigned to. So that is the grid, but like the whole overall thing is also a grid. So the overall grid is being used for layout, while this is just the data grid showing some binding to some data. All right. That makes sense. And again, there's not much to read in here except for here's a whole bunch of data that you can bind to and just light up your UI and all of the UI. See, I keep getting that error, which I have no idea what it is. So I can use this red grid and bind it to whatever I want, and then I will get all the features. Yeah. Okay, now let's get to what I'm trying to do, and this might take me a few weeks to build, obviously, but I want to start, and maybe I won't start on the client tab yet because I think the RC bits are getting really close to being done. Hang on, let me, my VM is still open and just chewing through memory. But I need some supporting things in the back end before I do that, and maybe some of you might have ideas on how I can structure this app or how I can architect this app any better, because I am a little short of ideas here. So here's what I've been asked to do. And by asked, I mean like I volunteered, and I'm like, okay, now I have to actually think about this and get it done. So if you are wanting to stay on the bleeding edge with dotNET MAUI, we have a nice community and we are learning from each other. So I started this back in February or March of last year, or this year rather. So if you look for a thing called Sands of MAUI, so I started like a newsletter type thing, which is essentially a way to highlight some of the things that the community is doing. And I think this might be the latest one, September 7th. Yeah, so that's for this week, right? So every Monday, or if it's a vacation, or if it's a holiday, then it comes out on Tuesday. Every Monday, you get a post from me, which essentially highlights like the top 5 things, not top, but just essentially any random 5 things that relate to dotNET MAUI developers, right? And I try to highlight the things that are relevant for each week. So like the MAUI Toolkit preview came out last week, and along with it, there's like a markup NuGet package, and they're creating, they're moving the MVVM stuff off it for now, and just focusing on the behaviors and converters, I think. Rachel Kang joined the community stand-up to talk about accessibility. Oh, MAUI is now welcome on Tizen. I really love this because I have a lot of Samsung devices and they all run Tizen. So like my fridge, my TV, they all run Tizen, and now I can run MAUI on it, just like Xaml Forms. I think the PR is not in yet. Let me check. This is Rookie Java, one of the Samsung engineers. It's open, right? So I think the MAUI team is working with them and trying to make sure they are doing things exactly as planned. But here, look at this. This is exactly what I have for my TV. So they took David Ortno's Weather 21 app, and they ran it on the TV, which is pretty slick. But it works, right? It works, and it'll start showing up more on Tizen. Dan is saying, and now you can justify a tax write-up. Yes. Yeah, I need my TV for debugging purposes. It's important for me. I have to have my apps on TV. Yes. It's working on Tizen, which is exciting. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is every Monday I write this, and it's just a nice way to kind of recap what has happened in the community for dotNET MAUI in that week. So all of this stuff comes out every week, and it's gonna it's all tagged together. I think there's a thing here. If I go to like Sands of MAUI, so yeah, you see that this one here. If I don't know if zooming is going to work. You see that this thing is called a tag essentially. So a tag is essentially a thing that every one of these posts is tagged with. So there's a landing page where I can get to all of the issues. So Wouldn't it be nice if Sans of Maui was a Maui app that you can actually get from the stores, right? Once Maui is out of the door, we can push out an app to the store, and then you don't have to come to the website, and you just have an app, and it just shows all the content. Maybe you get like a push notification every week when it comes out. So I have signed up for this, so I have to build this now, and I have like maybe 2 months to get this going. So that's what I'm looking at. So in terms of like the app itself, it shouldn't be radically anything different I need to do. So I'm thinking like a list view, which has all of these issues with some images, and then when you tap on each one, it kind of takes you into that issue and shows you all the stuff. Now here's what I'm struggling with. When I submit these things, it's HTML, but this is actually powered by like our blogs is powered by a CMS, which is Sitefinity, which is the CMS that we make, and Sitefinity has interesting ways of providing the feed. And I don't think I can subscribe to just this feed itself, like the filtering, like this is like the overall feed. I'll have to look into like, can I filter based on just the one tag, so I only get the feed for that? But even if I could, like it's gonna give me a whole bunch of other HTML and other junk that I don't need. Like if I have to go through like this page and try to scrape it, I don't want to do that. And then each time I hit next, like that's another request that brings me back the next set of issues. So I might end up hosting an API that just gives me this stuff, because I don't want to deal with all of the backend feeds. And I have to talk to some engineers to see if I can reuse in any way, but I'm leaning towards having a separate API as a backend that just gives me all the stuff, and then I don't have to depend on the CMS, because then I have an API that just I can point to, and then the app just pulls from the API. And once you are like inside each feed, then like all of this stuff is HTML. I mean, I can show this stuff in like some other control, but it's already nicely formatted, so it'll just be more work if I have to show this in any other way. So I might go and use something like the Blazor web view and just like throw it in there and just like hope the web stuff just kind of lights up, which it should, and it should have all the formatting in it. So I'm thinking I will have Dan is saying that sounds pretty standard for a developer. Read the docs. Well, okay, I will try to read the docs. Okay, I will try, but I just don't see having a clear feed that is exactly what I want. So I'm leaning towards doing it myself. So we'll see. I'll talk to some folks. How about that? Maybe I won't read the docs, but I'll talk to some engineers and see if I can get a clean feed out of this CMS. Because like there are feeds all over the place. I just don't know if I can filter it down to just what I need. Okay, so what I'm envisioning is I'm going to have a list view or a grid which shows me a list of all the issues. Then you tap on it, then I open up a Blazor web view and I give you that issue, and you scroll through it, and we can do sharing. We can do push notifications. What else? Like, and the reason I'm thinking like this could be I don't need to write anything back to the data source. Like it literally is consumption. Like I just need to read. So it should be fairly simple. Oh, and actually this might be a good, I'm thinking out loud here on stream here. This might be a good use for, you know, the thing that, in fact, I just had it up here. So you see that on, I think it's on 22. We had a long stream with ASP.NET. Was it here? Yeah, this one here. So Khalid Abu Hakme, he is a DevRel at JetBrains. He had stopped by to talk about minimal APIs in C#, with C# and with the latest ASP.NET. And I found it like fascinating because it's like no drama. So let me see if I can look it up. Maybe I do a minimal API and just kind of use it as a as just an excuse to use this new thing from ASP.NET. Hanselman wrote about it. Oh, we have had an article on this. Really? Oh, this is Dave Brock. I remember this. This was back in June. Wow, it's been a while. This one is using C#9, C#10 features, and it's using global usings. So you don't have to write much. I think like just this, like 3 lines of code is what it needs, ASP.NET, to give you an API back. And I think, yeah, so it doesn't have a main string entry point. It doesn't have any usings because it's all global and it's implicit. So all of this stuff can live in a separate thing. Maybe you can use this. And well, I have to figure out, like, I need to keep each of the issues somewhere, and that has to be a database, or a document database or a SQL database of some sort. So every week when I push this, like where was that? Every week when I push one of these issues, I upload the HTML to the CMS, and then I also, maybe the HTML is just like a property on one of my objects, like each issue is an object, and then I push that HTML into a data field or a document, and then I pull out of it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, not reading the docs. I'm just going to do it myself. How do you start with this? Because see, this one here may be what I need. So it's working with models. So this one here, like, he's using a C# record to create like a person objects and returning Bill Gates. Wait, so this is .NET 6, right? Hold on, let me kill these things. So is there an API for this? Or like a template for this? Let's make this bigger. .NET new, right? List. Look at all these options now. Oh, and by the way, we were talking Maui. So see that this Maui Comet one thing, we talked about Comet, James Clancy and the gang. They have a separate template. So if you want to play with Comet, get that template. Now these are the two that you should and you must have, right? Maui Blazor and just regular Maui. If you do Maui check with -- main, then you get those like 6 or 7 extra ones, right? You can start with like one page or like a component if you want, but those are the basics. And then they still have the iOS app, iOS class library, and then Android. Yep, Android is right there. They have Mac Catalyst right there, so everything is right there. So get the templates. Don't be like me. Don't be missing templates. Now, ASP.NET, right? ASP.NET Core empty, gRPC. Okay, so this is what I don't want to do. Like, this is the Mvc Web Api, right? If I was making like a very formal API that my UI team is going to consume, I'm the business like middle tier layer, then I would do MVC, which has all the CRUD operations like the create, read, update, and delete, and it has like action items for each of them. I don't need any of that, and maybe that's the point of the minimal APIs. Like, it gets you up and running quickly. Angular, React, yeah. So it's not gRPC, it's not Web API. So does the web thing do? Because like I think that's just Razor Pages. Maybe I should try. Okay, hold on. So it's just called web, right? Yeah. All right. So CLI projects is where I like to keep it. No. Oh, come on. Projects. All right, there we go. So we are going to make a new directory called, this is the backend, right? So sans of Maui backend. There we go. And now we go sans of Maui backend, and now we go .NET new web right there. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, ASP.NET Core empty project created successfully. Okay, I'm going to assume like the regular .NET stuff works. So .NET restore. All right. And then I shouldn't have to do anything else, right? .NET run, maybe. What? What do you need that for? Is it like HTTPS? I don't know. Fine. You can have my soul. Okay, is that it? I think so. It didn't pull up my browser, but it says, hey, I'm listening. Localhost 5001. Okay. Localhost 5001. Nope. Okay. 5,000? Oh, there we go. Well, that's awkward. 5001 didn't do anything, but then it is running on 5000, and that's hello world. Okay, so I think let's go look. Okay, well we can keep this running. Well, actually we can pause it for just a little bit so I can go look. What did we get? Is that the minimal APIs that we are getting? Sensor MAUI backend. Yes, show me everything. All right. Okay, this one's C# extension. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So startup.cs. This should be regular ASP.NET startup. I'm guessing configure services. Oh, that's where it's getting it from. You see that? Hello world. Map get, that whack is the default endpoint. Use routing. So this is actually not a Razor page. So this is the I think the minimal APIs, right? So program.cs, what does this do? Create host builder. Oh, this is just like startup. It's not actually doing anything. Web builder. So startup.cs. Okay, so which is weird. Like we're actually putting application code right here in the startup.cs. Yeah, I mean, this is just a simple hello world. I see. Okay. So, oh, Dan is saying you're just using middleware to return a response. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So this one, like normally, startup.cs has all of your configurations and DI and whatever else you want to use, but this one's just returning something. But there's a little bit of magic here. Like, how does it know? Like, that's the default route. And hold on. So I am using those usings. Am I not? The top level arguments. This is not like, where does the app start up? The app starts up here. There is the main string. So this is not exactly what minimal APIs should do. So I'm probably using a wrong template. Like I'm coming in as like a regular Razor Pages app, and this one has all of the usings. Maybe there's a place to kind of copy over all of the usings and put it somewhere in a different file so you don't see it there. But I mean, that is the idea. Map get whack hello world. I have to think about this. Like, is this the right thing for me to use? Maybe it is, because like all I want to do is an API that I can consume. Oh, this is funny. Ron Swanson quotes? I didn't even know this was a thing. What is this? Oh, it's an API for us to play around with. For those of you who may not know, this is coming from Parks and Recreation, Ron Swanson. He was quite a character. Or is it like random? I've had the same... Oh, this is funny. How did I not know there was an API like this? Oh, this is funny. Yeah, this is funny. Check it out, folks. Ron Swanson quotes host term Heroku. This is funny. Anyways, so that was using HTTP client. Can I do this? Because if I can, then maybe I can use a sense of MAUI record. In there, I can have like information as to like what each post should be like date of publication, you know, whatever tags or whatever else. But then all of this body is going to be like one property called the HTML body, and we're just going to shove that into a Blazor web view and call it a day, I hope. So if I did this, can I do this? Now, should I be adding more things to my startup.cs? Maybe then I really need to move this off, because this is not the right template. Like, I should not be adding stuff to my startup. But just for the heck of it, I want to see if it does return. Okay, so now this is not a class, though, it's just a record. Can I just add a record in that namespace? Maybe. Person, public last name, first name, and then we're going to do this. Fox McCloud, yo, good to see you. Wait, I'm confused with the syntax here, because this one, maybe I'm going to copy and paste, because that's how we write code, right? And then the run async part, like where is it getting that from? This is just an endpoint mapping. I am confused because this template is not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Because now I don't have an app. But maybe I do have an app outside. Maybe I don't need this mapping. Right here I go like this. No? Why is it complaining? No quick fix is available. What you're doing is stupid. There is no quick fix for this. Thank you. Okay, so what is map-get? Where do I get map-get? Because this app is a web application, while this app is what? This is an I application builder. Okay, so maybe I can't do this, or not from this template anyhow. Can I somehow butcher this to make it work? Map-get, context. This one's writing back a string. Maybe we just make it return a person. Yeah, but see, this one is going to, like, that whack is like a different route. Okay, I'm gonna try. Okay, new person. Yeah, I think. Okay, so let's do Dan, the man, Seagull, and see if that works. No, I mean, I need to close that, right? No, I don't need to close that. I'm confused with some of the record syntax. Oh, Fox McCloud. I tried out ASP.NET and I'm very confused about how ASP.NET gets the page layout. I'm working on the default template. Oh, you're talking about something else. VS 2019 gives you, though, I'm guessing it's endpoint map reservations that does this. Okay, when you say layout, what layout do you mean? Because, yeah, I mean, when you do razor pages, which I think this was what that template was, the endpoint routing is literally the objects that you want to hit when you have those routes, right? So, not quite sure about your question here. Yeah, feel free to explain a little bit more, and I can weigh in. And I'm not an ASP.NET expert in any way. You can see that I'm struggling here. Can I just new up a person like that? What else do I need to do? It's not liking it. Cannot convert a person to a string. Oh, you're trying to convert this to a string because write async takes a string? Yeah. Alright. Can you do a toString on the whole thing? It probably is gonna bark at me. No. Well, no. I'm doing this wrong. It's on the end of it, right? What is the darn syntax? And I started off with the wrong project, so I do apologize there for that. But I'll fix it. Can I do toString on the whole thing? Like that? No, it probably doesn't like this. Fox McCloud. Oh, I mean, I like what kind of websites you want to fetch, like index HTML, login HTML. I'm working on identity and trying to set up users at the moment. Oh, I see. This template that I'm using is different from a regular template, so you may want to go back here and .NET MAUI. Because I think if you chose the, which one is the Razor Pages one? I think it's the web app. Yeah, so I chose this, which gives you absolutely nothing, looks like. But you may want to choose the web app one, which is going to give you the Razor Pages, and then you can render or return HTML like as a view, because this one's like returning a string. Then saying you can make new person simply. Yeah, that's what I did then. Yeah. So yeah, Fox and McCloud. I think you're more on the advanced scale. Like you're trying to return views and other stuff. Like while I'm trying to just return a string. That's the template I'm working off. Good. Okay. So we have new person Dan Siegel, and it's still awkward to return this from a startup, but that's literally the middle tier, so you don't want to write the code that I'm writing in your startup. You probably want this to be in a separate file, but what the heck. Let's see if this will run. No, I went off. This. Am I still on it? Yes, I'm still on it. Clear that, and then let's do a .NET run. Why does it keep asking me that? What are you using from my keychain? Dan is saying I always make things awkward, so yes. Okay, so 5001 doesn't work for me. But I found 5000 does, so I'm going to stick to that. Oh, okay. Well, it is an object, but it's literally flattening it and giving me Dan Siegel with first name, last name. Okay. But this is not exactly minimal APIs, right? I just don't know where to start. Is there? I'm realizing already I'm past the hour, and I have a meeting in like 15 minutes. No, 20 minutes. Maybe Hanselman has that thing on where to get started. SDK templates. See, everyone's starting off on a different thing. Like their app is builder build, while my app is. Where is my app? It's well, it is a builder. So maybe I just needed to do a web application, create builder, and then I can have the map get. Yeah. We can have routing. We can have a pattern, controller, home, action, because that's what we do with Web API. I'm completely digressing. I'm just like trying to figure out what I want to do. Oh, there is Swagger support. That's nice. Yeah, everyone uses that person thing. Looks like it's a record. Now you can return first name, last name. David Fowler has a repo. I can completely go off on a tangent here. Oh, I don't have access to that. Okay, I have to think about this. I have to think like how I do this. The app shouldn't be too difficult. The app should be a list view with all of the issues, and then a Blazor web view to show it, show the HTML. But I need to figure out how I do the backend. Do I need a API in the first place? Okay, give me some time. I'm going to think about this. Talk to some engineers and see if I can reuse the feed. I would hate to add on to my workflow that every week I have to add this to the CMS and also add it to my API. But if I don't get a clean API, I might have to do that. But it's good to know that this like minimal API stuff works. Although like this wasn't the right template, but I can at least return a string. And even though like the whole point of this is to eliminate the drama and the ceremony and all of that stuff, which this one is, like it literally is one string that we're returning from the root default index kind of view of this. So okay, I need to think about this. I need to figure out what exactly I want to do. So next Thursday, I will have this thought out, and we will have an API, and we'll start coding the app. And hopefully, don't quote me, but I and then this is not even NDA, because I thought I saw somebody from the .NET MAUI team, or actually it was Rich Lander from the .NET team, give us a tentative date. So like September 15th, what is it, like 9th today? Like I am hoping that next week we might have a new drop of .NET 6 or .NET MAUI. Could be the week after, we don't know. But it's coming. It's definitely somewhere in the middle of September. So if I can get the API figured out, then maybe I do begin the client app on .NET RC, which is going to be a little bit more of a stable platform to stand on. Okay, so that's it. What I wanted to do today was just to kind of wrap up some of the things I had to do to get my dev environment working for a short shelf life until the next preview hits, and kind of document some of the things that I've seen along the way. We took a brief look at Telerik UI and the grid and the list tree that I want to use, and then I have to think about how exactly I want to build this app, like the backend part of it. The app shouldn't be too difficult, and I will build the whole app on stream, so you can kind of follow along and laugh at me, because I'm really bad when it comes to like actually writing the Xaml. I do a lot of copy and paste, which is fine. So you're going to see me write that up on stream right here next Thursday onwards. So yeah, and that's it. So Dan and Fox McCloud and let's see, Elsnake, Rocket Devrel was here. Thank you for hanging out with me as always. Thank you. Love you folks. Take care. Be productive, and I'll see you on the next stream. All right, folks. Bye-bye for now.